Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Kaiser Report. I'm sure you all saw the shorts that were posted yesterday, and the laughability of this shutdown is just outstandingly entertaining at best. We have, and we don't deserve him, a president that has a sense of humor that is far above any Democrat sitting in Congress today understanding. And that's pure and simple. And if you were privileged enough to see after the meeting in the White House, the AI-generated, laughable video put out by Donald Trump on social media, anyone in their right mind would have had a chuckle over it and thought nothing of it. Now they're on TV, especially Hakeem Jeffries, trying to convince us all that it's racist because they used a mustache and a sombrero to indicate that he came to the White House in it. We know differently, and if anyone with thinking ability and any monicum of education at all would quickly realize that that was not real. However, the words that were put into Schumer's mouth in that video are a bright light shining on the true meaning of what they should be saying, because it is true. And that's what makes it laughable, because they think by shutting down the government that they're going to take a leap and bound ahead in the upcoming midterm elections and then in 2028. They're aligning themselves while Schumer's worried about AOC, who now jumped the gun and went out publicly and said that if you want to negotiate, come to her office, which really lit up the ire of Nancy Pelosi the other day on the news network. I'll see if I can find something here to post at the end of this video of her, but it actually is not worth, and it's not funny to watch her get upset over the fact that her buddy Hakeem was jumped over by AOC, which is no surprise to any of us. She is busy right now backing man Danny, the Zoltar guy in the box that's going to give away everything, give you a ticket to be young again. It's not happening. And it's sad that the people, the talking heads on MSNBC, and of course The View, are upset about this racist thing that was put out by our president, all while he's trolling the left for their own demise. They are responsible for this shutdown, which has not affected really much of the stock market or anything else involved in this country that would harm us, John Q. Public. They don't see it that way. They want to convince you that you're all going to lose your health care, when in fact people that will get a rise in health care cost are the people that are making over $100,000 a year. And in my estimation, they can afford to do that. The government shouldn't be paying for it. The lesser well-off people will continue as planned unless you're sitting home out of work, you're an illegal alien or the like, and then you will not get Medicaid. But, however, the government will still fund the emergency rooms that has to see these people when they show up and flood your emergency room with illegals that need health care. They're not denied, and at some point, the taxpayer dollars will pay that emergency room or pay back that facility for whatever they deem possible, and it will be a lot more costly than what you and I would pay as being real citizens with health care. That's the truth, folks. The truth is coming out, and the Democrats are going to try and throw a blanket over this. They have all day long yesterday, and it continues today with the talking heads on MSNBC and the fired people from CNN that are out with platforms now, such as this on YouTube and Rumble, that are decrying all of the mess that it's going to be, and it's all Donald Trump's fault. Even our past citizen that moved to Ireland has lost her mind over this. If you watch the news often enough, or The View, in places of that nature, you'll see it. Thinking people understand what's going on. That's why the stock market hasn't reacted very negatively on this whole situation. The air traffic control now, they're going to lay on to this. There was an accident yesterday that took place at LaGuardia Airport where two planes collided. This is an accident that happens in aviation from time to time. There are mishaps. Are we short controllers? Yes, there are a lot in training right now that will stay in training but not paid until the Democrats come out of the ether and really decide that they have just shot themselves in their own feet, and then put this government back on track with the clean continuing resolution. No one is going to hand a drunken sailor $1.5 trillion to go play for the next 7 to 8 weeks that they're asking for, while they continue as business as usual with the giveaways and the bailing out of people like PBS and failed organizations and NPOs that they want to start to refund through whatever, USAID or secret programs that maybe we haven't quite uncovered yet through Doge. There's an awful lot of dead wood and waste sitting in this government that needs to be cleaned out. And they've given now a perfect opportunity for this cabinet and this president to do just that. And they'll do it on the backs of the Democrats that allowed this shutdown to take place. And that's Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer and all but 3 Democrats that would not vote against this, and then one Republican that is going along with the Democrats on this. And that's Rand Paul, and I'm deeply, deeply disturbed by him doing that. I always liked Rand Paul. He makes sense, but I understand where his position is, because he wants to see a balanced budget at some point in this country, and he wants to see a cessation of waste and mismanagement of monies that are just willy-nilly being doled out here, there, and everywhere for unions and the like. But the irony of it all is they're getting a taste of their own medicine, because on the regular programming that you see that is somewhat believable, and even CNN has taken a new vision into exactly what's going on and played for Chuckles the Clown Schumer, his past rhetoric that he put out over the last 8 to 10 budgets that he was involved in, railing against government shutdown, and he's gone ahead and done it himself against everything he has said in the past that is now being shown. How do you defend that? How do you even get up in front of that camera and continue to lie to the American public that they're taking away your health care? No one is taking away your Social Security. No one is taking away your Medicare. What they're doing is streamlining Medicaid and getting the people that are benefiting without reason on Medicaid to go back to work. Able-bodied people in this country should be holding down a job of some sort. There are plenty of jobs to be had. We're not going to make every college graduate an immediate vice president of something. When you're in trouble as a young person and can't find a job, you take what's available and you work your way into waiting diligently and working diligently at whatever job you can find so you can pay your own way. Then you'll qualify for the Medicaids and things of that nature that you feel that you need or will need. But work at something. There are times that people like myself have been down and out. I scrubbed floors in a laundromat when I could not work back during another administration that made it very hard to even drive to work because there were no gasolines or lines so long you couldn't get gasoline. They were times where you put your bills into a hat and whatever got pulled out got paid that month. But you went to work at something. Whether it was digging a ditch, working on a road crew, being a flagman on a road crew, or working in a laundromat cleaning up after other people. Gas station work. Learn a trade. Not everyone is going to just offer you a vice presidency or the CEO position because you went to a college and got a liberal arts degree, and now there's no work for you. America was built on people with a work ethic. And that work ethic, when became successful, then they ran for the either local government to start their communities back on track, or if you're so inclined to go into national politics, you went and you spent your time and you went back to your walk of life that you became successful in. You didn't find a seat in a home in Congress and stay there for 50 years. We know now that there are people, the likes of Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer, that have sat in Congress living off the teat of government for their entire lives, and in some cases never have worked a day in a job to earn that position. But yet they're still there, and they think they're going to stay there. Because when you have someone else's checkbook, you can do anything you want, and you can become the belle of the ball if you choose to. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She can't string a sentence together, probably even close to Kamala Harris. But she's there. She still thinks she's relevant. We're all waking up right now and understanding that they don't know what they're doing. They have wasted trillions of dollars on programs for the last 10 years that if you really got a piece of paper that listed them all, you would cry, because it is that sickening at what they blew our money on across this globe, and we have nothing for it. And these same people will decry the fact that we are now going to put tariffs on people that have been taking advantage of us for the last 50 years. Tariffs have nothing wrong with tariffs. Before the IRS came into vogue, tariffs are what kept this country going. It wasn't put on the backs of the working people. Or as Bernie would say, the workers. You know, the oligarchs own all the money. The oligarchs are sitting in your Congress in the guise of Democratic lawmakers that have done well for themselves while you struggled through. Loss of jobs because companies left this United States and went overseas for cheap labor. Because of, in some cases, unions that were a little bit corrupt. Politicians that were a little bit corrupt. And so on. If you knew what went on behind the closed doors over in our congressional mess that sits there, you would be appalled at what really happens there. There is no getting together for both sides of the aisle. They walk into the White House for a meeting with this president with demands, with no negotiation in mind. We want our $1.5 trillion, and when we get that, we'll let you continue to be president and make decisions. That's not the way to present your problem. What you're going to see here in a minute is some film on exactly in a parody of an AI-generated thing. It's telling the truth. This is the truth of what's taking place and the truth of why we had 22 million people come into this country and be protected by a party and continue to be protected, especially the criminal element, by a party. And that party is the Democratic Party. And they have some help on the other side of the aisle. It's not good. We have a midterm election coming up that will help us get rid of some of that. Maybe the president in this shutdown can get a process by which we can get rid of a whole bunch of government employees that do nothing, what I call dead wood, that are taking up space and increasing our payroll exponentially. Let's thin that out. We had a man like Elon Musk that brought Doge in there and identified a lot of waste and fraud, which has really never been dealt with other than what he accomplished while he was there. The Democrats fought hard to get him out, to ruin his life, to burn down his dealerships and make their followers go out and burn down anybody who bought a Tesla's car or key it up. That's the destructive nature of the rhetoric that comes from the Democratic Party. And I'm in no way telling you that we don't have bad rhetoric coming out of the right-hand side of the aisle. We do, but it's not usually proponing some violence somewhere. We saw a peaceful protest as early as the day before yesterday back in Utah at the very same university, and somebody had to call in a bomb threat. But it did not deter over 5,000 young people gathering at that university in the name of Turning Point. I personally support Turning Point. And I believe any thinking person watching what took place in this last 6 months should do the same. They're trying to stop us from going back to God, from going back to your places of worship, from convincing you that their way is that way or the highway, and it's not going to work anymore. God is back in this country. We love Jesus Christ, and they cannot take that away from us. The devil's minions are going back into their holes, and they're going soon. Because when you fight against a legion of angels that are speaking to our youth today, it's impenetrable. And I hope and pray every day that the rest of this country that has been fooled by the last 4 years of trying to change our morality into mush is being defeated. And I pray every day that they come to their senses and understand that. And then we'll be a country that trusts God one more time, and not the dangling bits that are shown to us by the bad sides of humanity as being pleasure palaces for a sick mind. And this is what we've had to put up with for the last 4 years, and we're not now. All power and glory go to our Lord, Jesus Christ, and in the heavens that are full of saints and angels that are on our side. Try and defeat that. You'll have a tough road to hoe right there. And with that, let's take a look at some fun videos here that have cracked me up for 2 days, and it keeps getting better because they cannot handle the truth, and they cannot handle a sense of humor that our president has. Amongst all he has on his plate, he still has time to be funny and show us his fun side. And it is just that. No matter what The View has to say or the talking heads have to say, I believe it's a riot and a half. Take a look here.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters.
Only 4 hours after President Trump met with Democratic congressional leaders at the White House to discuss the looming government shutdown, the commander-in-chief posted an AI-generated video on Truth Social, which mocks Senator Chuck Schumer and Rep. Hakeem Jeffries. The faux footage shows Jeffries, depicted with a mustache and sombrero, standing stone-faced next to Schumer, who, in a fake voice, argues in favor of giving illegal aliens free health care as part of an effort to court new voters for the Democratic Party, all while a traditional Mexican folk song plays in the background.
And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Schumer and Jeffries were livid over the AI post. If you think your shutdown is a joke, it just proves what we all know. You can't negotiate. You can only throw tantrums.
Could you give us your reaction to that Trump posted video tonight?
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Trump said very large differences remain over cuts to various healthcare programs, with Republicans accusing Democrats of wanting to provide migrants access to government-subsidized healthcare programs. Democrats have denied the claim, arguing they will not support any stopgap measure that does not extend Obamacare tax credits, which are set to expire at the end of the year, and reverse Medicaid cuts Republicans enacted in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
I think for the first time, the president heard our objections and heard why we needed a bipartisan bill. Their bill has not one iota of Democratic input. That is never how we've done this before.
But Vice President J.D. Vance was quick to place the blame on Democrats for the looming shutdown.
We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut the government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. But let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right.
Hours away, actually, from a government shutdown. And instead of working on a solution, Trump posted a deep fake AI video last night that featured things Senator Schumer never said and had Minority Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero and a mustache.
I mean, I saw one of the major TV stations put the meme up and then say, this is AI generated. And he had like the curly animated mustache too. It's like, do you really not realize the American people recognize that he did not actually come to the White House wearing a sombrero and a black curly animation mustache? Like, give the country a little bit of credit. We're all trying to do a very important job for the American people. The President of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it.
So the name calling and the stupid AI and the imagery has got to stop. It's time to lead.
You know what? Yeah, right.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the...
Bruh.
No, seriously. The AI is really juvenile.
Yes.
It's really juvenile.
I think that
becoming the president of the United States.
If you guys think that we can survive another 3.5 years of this, I think you're delusional. Every day there's some nihilistic
thing.
thing.
It's only Tuesday, Joy. Can we not start there?
You're the one who
I
always
hate to
tells
be
me,
Debbie
though,
Downer,
but you
every
always tell
day
me
this guy
country
is
survived a lot.
undoing something in this country that we value. Every day, it's every day is a shock and awe here, and I for one, am skeptical that we will survive this.
Now, if you're not amused by that, then there may be a problem, and you may need to probably go run to your therapist one more time and find out why. But I believe you'll find out, as Nicole Wallace did, that it may be you. Not everything is Donald Trump's fault. Very few things are his fault. The fault lies with the people that broke it, and we have now a president that is trying to piece Humpty Dumpty back together again. You can call him a king, a dictator, Hitler, Mussolini. I don't know what you want to attach to this man that he hasn't already had to fend off. Give the man a break. I thought it was absolutely amusing that when those two morons showed up at the White House, he had them put out on his desk facing them 2 hats for them. And the hats read, Trump in 28. You don't get any funnier than that. They didn't take him. They asked the vice president, are you okay with this? And the vice president said no comment because he was holding back a chuckle. I don't care who you are. That is funny. And that is a dyed-in-the-wool troll right there that they lost their mind over, ran to the cameras and said he's a racist because he puts out a hat. Didn't work that way for them. let's hope that this shutdown doesn't stay very much longer. But let's hope also and pray that it lasts long enough for us to get the job done and get some people that we can't ill afford to pay any longer out of government. And with that, we're going to say have a great rest of this Thursday. Enjoy what you see on the news. It's worth watching now because the fight is on. And stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more information. We'll see you back here for a Friday end of the week report tomorrow. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.